record. Make sure that turns on. And it's recording. All right, guys, if you're watching the recording, first and foremost, thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name's Holly Llewellyn. I am the founder of Team Iron Bells, and I have with me here Sara Rogers, my top coach on our team. And we're both just going to talk to you guys a little bit tonight about coaching and how to partner with us if you're interested in that, and just answer any questions. We really strive to be 110% transparent and just make sure, that we really are an open book. So that being said, I guess what I want to start with is just share my story real quick, and then I'll let Sara share her story real quick, and then I'm going to just touch on some common questions, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. Does that sound okay, Rebecca?
Sounds good.
Perfect. So I don't know how much you know about me. My story is pretty similar to a lot of stories that you hear about weight loss in general, or just the coaching opportunity in general. I was fresh out of college. I got my first desk job, and I gained like so much weight. I didn't gain the freshman 15 wasn't my thing, but the desk job 15 was my thing. It was awful. And I didn't even realize it was happening. I was still active, or so I thought. And I was eating healthy meals. I really wasn't. And I was just making some poor decisions throughout the day. Long story short, I gained quite a bit of weight, and I was unhappy. And a friend of mine, who's actually my upline, and she and I went to high school together. She has lost a ton of weight on Beachbody and had just kind of started her transformation at that point in time. And she reached out to me and said, "Hey, I know that you're struggling right now, and I can tell you're frustrated. This is what's working for me. If you're interested, I'd be happy to help you." So I actually joined one of her challenge groups, which you don't know what a challenge group is. We can talk about that later. But essentially, it's what a coach does. We just help people monthly. We host a challenge group and just coach people through a program. We're their cheerleader, their advocate, their accountability partner, their motivator, all of that. And so I joined the group, and I have to be honest, I was hesitant at first because I was like, oh my gosh, this isn't going to work for me. I'm that person that's always like, well, this works for everyone else, but it's not going to work for me. And so about 2 weeks in to that, my first program, which was Turbo Fire, I don't know if you know what that program is, I started seeing results, and the results were really, really great for me. I was seeing, my waistline was going down. I was, my skin was clearing up. I had a really terrible time I should preface that I had a really bad bruising issue. I had some serious deficiencies going on due to my nutrition at the time. And I had started drinking Shakeology, and some of those issues started to clear up as well. And it was just like, it was starting to change my life on every level. I was happier. And after posting a little bit about that and sharing that with my friends and family, they were intrigued as well. And so I go back to Ashley, who's my coach, and I said, "Hey, they're really interested. Can they join the group with us? Is that okay?" And I just wanted them to have the same experience I did because it was really working well for me. And she said, "Yeah, that's wonderful. If you're interested, you can join as a coach and use the coach membership, and then you can help them. It doesn't matter. It's up to me." And she just left it open like that. And I thought about it for a while, and I decided to join. And I'm so glad I did because I've never looked back. 8 months after I joined, I was able to go to Summit, which is a big coach event where everyone gets together. We learn a bunch. We do workouts together. It's just so fun. And I can tell you a whole bunch more about that. And Sara went this year and just loved it. Her and her hubby both made the trip for that. That was life-changing. While I was there, I should say, prior to going, I was very unhappy in my day job. I'd been there for 5 years, and it was a good job. It just wasn't my passion. And while I was there, I made the decision that I wanted to go full-time with my coaching career. And so another 8 months after that, I was able to walk away from my full-time job, and I have been a work-from-home coach ever since. So I am now a full-time coach. And my whole goal, honestly, was that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but I knew that I would need to be able to contribute to the financial situation for our household. And I specifically didn't want to burden Tommy, who we were dating at the time. Now he's my husband. I didn't want to burden him with that. So here we are, and we got married earlier this year, and we're expecting our first baby. this spring, which is so exciting. And so it has allowed me to do that. I am a full-time mom now, and there are so many more details in that story, but that's like the long and short of it. So that being said, are there any questions about my story? Because I can answer those now, or we can talk about it later. There's a lot. It's just like I tried to condense 5 years. No? That's just fine. So that being said, my story is different from Sarah's. And if Sarah, if you're ready, I'll let you go ahead and talk about your story.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for putting this group together, Holly, and thank you so much for joining, Rebecca. Oh my gosh, you probably know a lot about my story, but I don't really talk about my coaching story as much, and I definitely need to start doing a better job of that. But I had struggled with my weight after college. I actually struggled to find a full-time job in my degree. I have a BFA from Mizzou in graphic design, and then I kind of just became depressed and thought I was never going to find a good job, and all this time and money spent going to college was wasted, basically, and it just kind of started to take a toll on my health. I kind of quit caring about, how I looked, how I felt. It was pretty miserable. And then after a while, I had tried different diet plans. I'd done Weight Watchers. I had just restricted calories and did a lot of running, and both were not exactly something that I obviously kept up long term. And I ended up losing weight but gaining the weight back and more. And then I got pregnant, and then I got married, and I got pregnant with my first child, and I just didn't take care of myself like I wish I would have, and I gained a bunch of weight. I had lost weight initially, but then I gained a bunch of weight afterwards, and I had another little baby 17 months later. So I just still neglected my health. I started taking care of my family first, and it just became such a burden to me. I felt miserable. It was physically hard for me to get around with my two little kiddos. I remember waking up with back pain every day. It was literally hard to roll out of bed. And I knew I had two little kids that depended on me, and I felt like crap basically when I looked in the mirror. I knew I needed to do something. And so I saw an infomercial for 21 Day Fix, I think, and I had seen some advertising for PIO, and I thought I was interested in both, but I wasn't sure how to go about pursuing either one. So I contacted Holly, and I asked for her help, and she guided me in the perfect direction. I'm forever grateful. She told me that 21 Day Fix was going to be the program that would work the best for me at the time. And I mean, it literally was. It had workouts that I could do from home every day with, a workout schedule I could follow, portion control containers, and an easy meal plan that I could follow, because I was ready to go all in, but I just needed help. I needed to know what to do, and as long as I knew what to do, I was going to do it. And so I also, after her recommendation, tried Shakeology. I fell in love with it. I was formerly addicted to pop and sweet tea and pretty much anything sugary or overly processed, and that, helped me kick my addiction completely. I have not had a pop in nearly 2 years. And that feels amazing to say that. But yes, in January of 2016, I committed to the program. I joined her challenge group, and I just gave it my all. I worked hard every single day, just focusing one day at a time. And after about 4 or 5 months in, I had lost 50 pounds probably. And Holly approached me with a coaching opportunity, which I had thought about, as a stay-at-home mom. I was looking, for a little extra income, and I was already doing a lot of the same things that a coach does. So I thought, what the heck, I told my husband that I could become one of those fit chicks and, help others find the success that I had. But like I said, I had only lost about 50 pounds. My goal was to lose 100. So I still had 50 more pounds to go. And I was initially a little hesitant because, I wasn't sure what people would think and, if I would really be able to help anybody because I wasn't at that goal weight. But Holly made it very clear that, people want to see the real you. They want to see you on your journey, just living your everyday life. They want to see the struggles, the ups, the downs. They want to see it all. And they can relate to that more than, someone who's super fit. So I gave it a shot, and I have been fortunate to help so many people along the way, and also provide additional income for my family. I started right off the bat and helped 3 people for my first 3 months and became a success starter. And when you do that, as Holly mentioned, I was able to receive a free ticket to Coach Summit that was in New Orleans this past summer. My husband went with me, and it was a super fun experience. I enjoyed the live workouts, like she said, and just the whole community. Like, I have never felt this passion and desire to be a part of something that is just, the mission that this company has is incredible. They're just wanting to help everybody live a happy, healthy, and fulfilling life, and just in the trend of obesity, because a lot of us, in America, all over the world, are becoming overweight and unhappy. And, I heard somewhere that our next generation of kids are their life expectancy is not as great as ours today. And that is sad. That's really sad. So there's just so many things that have changed in my life. And it's like the ultimate accountability to wake up every day and know you have people that count on you to help them. And just doing that has helped me to, reach my goals. I was able to lose 100 pounds in less than a year. Like I said, I just gave it my all. I, of course, not been perfect, but it's just been an amazing journey that is really hard to summarize in a short amount of time. But, gosh, I don't know if I even touched on all of it. I'm kind of drawing a blank now, but yeah, it's just truly been incredible. And I love just having the support and, like I said, the community of people that I can help every single day.
Absolutely. And that's honestly, Rebecca, that's one of the biggest things I think that all of us as coaches here is just the positive community. It's fantastic. It's just, it's so hard to describe until you're a part of it. And then you're like, oh my gosh, where has this been all my life? So that being said, do you have any questions about Sarah's journey that you want to ask before I move on to some of the kind of common questions?
Not necessarily about either of your journeys. I know Sarah's somewhat well, and I'm familiar a little bit with just from watching online. I've liked a lot of coaches' pages, and just kind of see how they do their day-to-day, and then Sarah's challenge groups. But that's all I know. So I'll let you go ahead and go, and then I'll see what questions I have after that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's perfect.
Am I the only other one on here?
Yes, you're the only one on here.
I do too.
Yes, you're the only one on here.
I don't want to say, I didn't want to butt in and talk too much or something like that. So, okay.
No, you are perfectly fine. So anytime you need to say something, you just say, hello.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so there's a handful of common, I would call them questions or misconceptions regarding the opportunity. And I had all of these before I started myself. And so I always like to touch on them. First and foremost, I always hear, am I going to have to push products on friends and family? Because let's be real, we all have someone in our newsfeed from some MLM, regardless of what they're selling, they're pushy and salesy, and it makes you feel kind of icky. And we do not do that on Team Iron Bells as well as on Sarah's team. We don't train our team that way. It makes us cringe. Instead, we our team to lead by example. So just like Sara said, sharing your journey and just being purely transparent about that and leading each other to inspire. So it's really all about building a solid relationship with your followers, letting them know that they can trust you and adding value, to their daily lives. That's what we do. And has proven well for our business, I should say. So the next, I'm just going to touch on these quickly. And of course, if you have questions, I have just a few more and then we'll go back over those. So the next one is that I hear a lot is, okay, that sounds great, but I probably need to have like this huge fitness following or know a lot of people to make this work. And that is also false. Every single person starts from ground zero. I literally had no one in my life when I started. And so the first couple of people that I helped who did truly want help, but they were my best friend, her mom, and my mom. And so that was my first challenge group that I hosted by myself. It was just my mother and my best friend and my best friend's mom, who's like my second mom. And you know what? Some people would think that sounds pathetic, but it was really pretty awesome. And it allowed me to feel more comfortable, to grow as a coach, and basically my abilities and how to lead others. So you don't need a big fitness following. It's actually a lot easier if you don't, because you don't have to deal with, I don't want to call it social media backlash, but you can see, how sometimes someone will post something on Facebook, like even somebody that's not, posting anything business-wise, people just like to voice their opinion, specifically when they're behind the keyboard. So it's sometimes easier, I think, to start out small because you can establish your platform and who you are, and the people that like you and that, get the same vibe are going to follow you. And then you don't have to worry about the haters because all you've got are the lovers that are following you. It's fantastic. So the third thing that I hear a lot is that people are interested, but they're like, oh my gosh, but you work this business full time. I have a full-time job. How am I going to do this? And honestly, every single person that has joined my team has had a full-time job of some type or another. When they started this, Sara is a perfect example. She was a full-time mom. And what ticks me off, by the way, is when people say that is not busy, because that's likely busier than some people who have a full-time 40-hour-a-week job.
Oh my God.
Demanding.
Tell me about it.
So we have people from all walks of life. We have students, we have professionals, we have stay-at-home moms, all kinds of different people that are on our team. You absolutely don't need to have a lot of extra time. If you're interested in making this a full-time gig, that's something we can help you do. We have trainings for that. If you're interested in just, earning a little bit of extra income, or you just really love the community and maybe you want to help a few people along the way, a few friends or whatever, that's fine too. A lot of the people on our team, of course, we have trainings for this, will just sit down and have like a power block. So of course they do their own workout, but then they'll have like maybe a 30-minute or an hour power block where they'll respond to people who've asked questions, or they'll do a little bit of outreach. If they have people that have liked their photo, maybe they need to chat with them or something like that, or like their post. But we teach everything regarding that. So please know that is not an issue. And when I started this, I was working what you would call a 40-hour salary job. However, it was a constant travel job. I felt like I lived out of a hotel and out of my suitcase. And I did events all across the country, East Coast to West Coast, for a medical university. And in an entire year, I would host about 56 events. Some of those events would overlap, on various weeks, but basically I had an event every week that I was out hosting and planning and doing. So I was traveling and doing my normal time in the office, and I was still able to build this. So I hope that helps shed a little bit of light on that. So the final question that I hear a lot is that, and this one is, Sara had kind of touched on this earlier. A lot of people say, oh, this is exciting and I really want to be a part of it, but I still have some weight to lose. I don't think that people are going to want to follow me. I need to get more fit, or some variation of that. And I felt the same way myself. It's just a very common fear, I think, that people have, especially in the world of social media, because it can be scary to put yourself out there, but it can also be so very rewarding. And like I mentioned, like I had told Sara, and like she mentioned, earlier, honestly, the people that are the most relatable are the ones that are on their journey, and they're transparent about everything. They're showing what works for them. And you know what, guys, I lost 2 pounds this week, or I lost 3 pounds this month, whatever it is, they're sharing their progress. And people love that. That's what they relate to. The fitness bunnies with ripped abs that eat like perfect all the time, don't have donuts, don't eat pizza. No one can relate to that.
Right.
Not very many people anyways. And so that's something that we hear a lot as well. So those were kind of the 4 questions that I hear a lot that I wanted to touch on. And so that may have sparked additional questions, or maybe have other questions unrelated completely, but it is open up for you to ask any questions.
No, I came into this tonight just kind of on a whim. I mean, so I didn't have like a list of questions compiled or anything, but I mean, my little tidbit is like, I was a teacher and then had a baby, ended up staying home, which is what I always wanted to do too. And here in the next couple of years, I have a 5-month-old and a 3-year-old. So here in the next couple of years, I will need to go back to work. And the thought of that seriously makes me like nauseous. So I would love, love, love to find something, that could supplement, a teacher income, which, is pretty doable. But with this, I've been in Sarah's groups for the last few months, and we've had a lot of things going on, so I won't go into my excuses, but I've stuck with the workouts, and I definitely need the accountability. So I feel like this for me would be, I know Sarah has said this, and the accountability piece. I don't know what I would do with it. I don't know if this, is something I would be good at. You did say about the trainings, like I wondered what, it goes from here once you do become a coach, like what happens after that. But I just lost my train of thought.
That's
but
well,
go ahead.
I was going to say, while you're thinking on the rest of your question, let me touch on the first parts of those for you. So you are, like, rest assured, Sarah and I both have full trainings for new coaches, as does our corporate office, which is really nice. You're going to get one-on-one calls with Sarah. You'll have calls with me if you would like. That's totally up to you, but it's always an option to anyone in my downline. You'll have full training in what we call a coach online office. Hi, Aaron. This is Aaron. He's another member of our team out in Colorado. He just jumped on. There's full training in the coach online office, and this is something that we get once we sign up as a coach. You get this beautiful office that's just basically a cloud-based system, and they take care of all of your customer orders, all of the shipping and tracking and billing and all of that. You don't have to deal with any of that. All that you have to all that you really need to do is just worry about, and it's not even a worry, I shouldn't say worry. You just inspire people and check in with them, just like Sarah's been checking in with you guys daily. So I hope that helped answer your question a little bit regarding training. And then I also wanted to touch on the part-time, supplementing your teacher income. Totally get that. I actually went to college to be a history teacher. And I passed the board in Missouri and Iowa so I could teach in either state, because I just knew that I needed to teach somewhere. And I ended up not teaching. All the jobs that I live in I don't know if you live close to Sarah, but like Sarah, I live in a very small rural community. And so the jobs are few and far between. Specifically when it comes to a history teaching position. All of those came with a football coaching position. So though I got interviewed, they were like, "Oh, can you coach football?" And I'm like, "Can you give that to someone else on staff?" I ended up getting an offer, but by that time I'd already interviewed for the job that I had at the university. And the job I had at the university was literally starting out $12,000 more annually, and it had better benefits. And so I ended up going with that. And I am glad that I did, because it led me down this path to where I am now. But I totally understand supplementing a teacher's salary. My mom was a teacher. She's a retired art teacher. And most of my aunts are all educators as well, or work in administration. So I get that, and I understand that, and also understand, wanting to stay home with your babies and being a little sick or nauseous about going back to work.
I don't want to do it.
Did that give you time to think about the rest of your question? I'm sorry.
It did. I think like this is would be like the whole social media sharing myself is so far out of my comfort zone. Like I can't even tell you. And Sarah, I know you've said the same thing. And like you guys said before about the following, I mean, I'm friends with people from high school. I'm friends with, just your typical people, like, people you meet, other moms and such. Like, I just can't imagine from that group that I could do very well. So just tell me how that works. Tell me what you do, like how you really get yourself out there.
Sarah, do you want to hit on that or do you want me to take it?
Yeah, I would love to. Sorry, I think my in may be delayed a little bit, but yes, oh my gosh, I was terrified to post on social media, especially my first transformation photo. I don't even know how long it took me to write the long caption, and I literally just sat in front of my computer like, oh my god, just push play or just push post, and I did, and then I went in the other room and told my husband, I'm like, oh my god, what did I just do? And I got a lot of amazing feedback, and that gave me more confidence and made me feel a lot better. Because generally people are not on your bad side. They're out to support you. They want you to do well. And I mean, personally, for me that I forgot to mention was that I was fortunate to enter the Beachbody Challenge, and I won some extra money for my transformation. At the time, I think I had lost 82 pounds when I submitted, which, like I told you, there's a chance you can do that over time or whatever. You can receive free t-shirts and, like I said, a chance to win money. And I had won the monthly prize plus the ultimate health transformation prize for that month. And so I had got a lot of followers after that. And but just being I just share my story every day. A lot of people relate to that, and they share that with somebody that they know that can relate to that. And I feel like there's just this kind of community, but just there are people out there that need our help and they're not sure who to go to. And I think it's just, as long as you're being 100% you and just sharing, even though, like I said, it was terrifying for me at first, but it has helped me to come out of my shell a little bit, because I am super shy and kind of introverted. But it's just given me a whole new perspective on helping people, to be honest. I never really imagined where this coaching opportunity would lead. Of course, I have dreams, but it's just something that I work through every day. And I think you would do a wonderful job, Rebecca. I think you, gosh, it's hard to even put into words, but I think it's just something that over time you'll learn, especially after the training, doing it more, just like anything else, like riding a bike. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it, basically. And
I have to tell you, I 100% agree with what you both said about seeing someone go through it, because I mean, Sarah, I saw you were, I can't remember how much you'd lost. I mean, it was a lot, I think, already, but your sharing of your before and after, seeing that over and over, and I know you're a real person. Of course, I know your sister-in-law, so you do seem a little more real to me. But it was huge, I think, yes, to just see you actually losing it over time, right before my eyes. You know what I mean? So I know that's huge, and I still have a lot to lose. So although it scares me, I know it would be a good accountability part, and I know if I'm going to share it, it would be helpful. Through the progress of it. So I totally agree with that. So just tell me, unless you have anything else, tell me what it looks like from here, signing up, or what that entails.
Sarah, do you want to take that or do you want me to? It doesn't matter.
Sure. I start, I guess, and you can fill in.
That's fine.
But yeah, and just know, Rebecca, that okay. I think we all have fears, and I still have them, but I just feel like even just now doing this call, I'm going to feel so much better after this, and I'll feel more confident. It's just things you'll learn over time. But where we would go from here is we would get you set up we would sign you up as a coach. I don't know. I don't think we've talked about this, but there is a $15.95 a month coaching fee that helps cover what Holly mentioned about our online office and how they take care of all the shipments and orders and basically all of the stuff that we don't have to do. So that's pretty reasonable, considering what I've heard from other network marketing companies. And then, of course, you would receive your 25% off discount on Shakeology. And if you are looking to grow a business, I would highly recommend being on Shakeology Home Direct Order, because there's a lot more to this, but you earn Success Club points each month based on the people that you help. And another requirement for Success Club is to have a certain amount of volume, which Shakeology covers. So they encourage you to, drink Shakeology, and like I said, you'll receive a 25% discount on that. And then we would just have a one-on-one call. I would take you through a tour of the online office and just help you get started right, because we definitely want to see you be a success starter. No pressure though, but it's just added benefits to next year's coaching summit, which is going to be in Indianapolis. And so it's super exciting. I already have my ticket ready to go. So it'd be awesome if you could join me. And then Holly, if you've got anything else that I have completely skimmed over.
No, you hit it right on the head. And Sara that's it in a nutshell. Sometimes I feel like people can make this very complicated, but it's not. There's the sign up process to get started. I'm sure at some point you've purchased a challenge pack already, so you're lucky the sign up fee is waived for you, which is fantastic. It's $39.95. Again, if you've already purchased a challenge pack, that is waived. And that is just to it gets your websites all set up. It gets you your coach welcome kit, the starter kit, and everything already in your online office. It also gets, of course, all of the financial things set up, because you're going to start getting paychecks and different things like that. So that's what that covers. And just like Sara said, it is significantly less than other MLMs. I am aware of several other buy-ins, and I would my sister-in-law is with another fitness industry company. And she's not anymore. She quit. But this was about this time last year that she started, and the buy-in was $1,500.
Oh my gosh.
$100. Yeah. I was like, excuse me? Good luck. That being said, just like Sara said, the process is fairly simple. It's just a matter of getting you all set up. So she's going to go through a one-on-one call with you, just like she said. She's going to walk you through the Coach Online office. The one thing that I do want to stress is this is very much, Rebecca, a learn as you go business. Everyone, I think everyone, signs up with the same fear that I'm so excited to do this, but I have no idea what I'm doing. That's what everyone's like. It's totally okay. We learn as we go, and that's the best way to do it, honestly, anyways, because if you try to soak in all the information beforehand, before you're actually doing, what a coach would be doing, it doesn't make sense. So it's so much easier to learn as you go. So I hope that helped answer your question. We've got just a few minutes left before the video, our webinar is up. Are there any other questions, Rebecca?
No, I think that covered it. Just my sound went way off. So just to clarify real quick, it was mine. I fixed it. But it's $15.95, which is a reoccurring fee every month.
Correct.
And then you get 25% off of Shakeology. That was kind of the money part. Okay.
Absolutely. And actually, it pays for itself. So if you're already on Shakeology Home Direct, depending on where it's shipping to, it can range anywhere from, $130, $38. I have some customers that pay $170 some for their home direct, just because it costs more to ship to wherever they're located, based on what, which warehouse is shipping to them. We have a couple different warehouses that ship, one on the East Coast and another one in Ohio. I think it's Ohio. It's somewhere over here in the Midwest. That being said, as a coach, the price for Shakeology instantly goes down from $130 $30 a month to $97 a month. And of course, if you're on Home Direct, you get the $2 discount shipping instead of paying an arm and a leg for shipping. So like for me, I live in Northeast Missouri, and every month, like clockwork, it's $106.70, like 72 cents or something like that. So even with paying the $15.95 fee, my Shakeology is still cheaper. So even if I was doing nothing else, still a win.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. So I hope that helps.
Where do you live in Northeast Missouri?
Where?
Yeah, where do you live?
Kirksville.
Oh my gosh, I'm from Unionville, Missouri.
Oh, shut up. That's so funny. I actually went to school in Brashear, but my husband and I live in Kirksville now.
How funny. I live in Warrensburg now, but yeah, oh my goodness.
That's hilarious.
Small world.
It is.
Yes, that's where we went to Walmart, and yeah.
So
it's a big town. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's going to cut us off. We're just about to our 45-minute mark. So thank you, everyone, for joining. I've recorded this, so I will upload it to YouTube later this evening, and I will share the link with all of you guys. So if you want to rewatch any of this, you're welcome to. And we'll chat soon.
Thank you, Holly. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, guys.
Hey,
Have a good evening.
no problem.